Heads up, Disneyland. We have a new neighbor.
The world ends at the gate.
Not from this coordinate, Miss White. They're from California. Ooh, nice limo.
Is there a prince inside?
Sorry, girls, but any interest in a 100-foot grizzly bear?
Introducing Disney's California Adventure, a whole new theme park filled with Disney adventures and fun, right next door to Disneyland.
Let's go see him.
Easy, big guy. Nobody likes a nosy neighbor.
Call now to book your vacation at Disney's California Adventure.
California Adventure, the second park on the Disneyland Resort. Some love it, some hate it. It has gone through quite a lot of changes throughout its lifespan, some for the worst and most for the better. This is Club 33 Facts, and we will go through Disney's California Adventure's full history. After succeeding with the multi-park business model at Walt Disney World in Florida, the Disney Company decided to turn Walt Disney's original theme park into a multi-park resort complex as well. In 1991, Disney announced plans to build Westcott, a West Coast version of what was then known as Epcot Center, on the side of Disneyland's parking lot. Due to the proposed price to build the park, the Walt Disney Company's rocky financial state after the opening of Euro Disney, and the fact that local residents did not want the gold replica of Spaceship Earth due to it being an eyesore, led Disney to cancel plans to build Westcott in 1995. In the summer of 1995, Michael Eisner, Disney's CEO at the time, gathered company executives in Aspen, Colorado, to think of another idea for a second theme park in California. From those meetings, Disney decided it would instead build a park themed to the history and culture of the state of California. Disney's executives aimed to make California a theme park, so as to keep guests at the resort instead of going off-site. Then Disneyland president Paul Pressler relied on merchandising and retail staff instead of Imagineers to design the park. As an adult-oriented park like Epcot, dining and shopping was the design focus. Construction of the park began on January 22, 1998. On Main Street, USA, a DCA preview center opened in October 1998. The park's construction was accompanied by Downtown Disney and Disney's Grand Californian Hotel. On opening week, the park was expected to draw large crowds when it opened on February 8, 2001. There were 4 districts: Paradise Pier, Sunshine Plaza, Golden State, and Hollywood Pictures Backlot, also 22 shows and attraction. On January 14th, a Los Angeles Times article titled "The Most Jam-Packed Theme Park on Earth?" stated, "Senior Disney officials acknowledge that there will be days when California Adventure will have to turn patrons away, particularly in the first weeks after the park opens, during spring break and again in the summer." That didn't happen. The actual attendance was remarkably lower than expected. This was due to many factors. Disney tried to make the park too adult-oriented. There were too many shops and restaurants for the small amount of rides available. The theming was lackluster. And it wasn't as immersive as Disneyland. You see, Disneyland uses clever placement of show buildings, trees and decor to hide anything that could ruin the immersion of being inside of a fantasy world away from anything non-Disney. This park didn't have that. You could see nearby hotels and radio towers above a Disney park, which was very strange of them to do. The park opened to only 5 million visitors in 2001, while its sister park Disneyland saw 12.3 million visitors during the same time frame. Low attendance caused Disney to lower ticket prices for California Adventure, slashing as much as $10 off the park's ticket prices. In its first year, the park only averaged 5,000 to 9,000 visitors on weekdays and 10,000 to 15,000 on the weekends, despite having a capacity of 33,000. Visitor surveys reported that only 20% of visitors to the park in its first year were satisfied with their experience. Within the first year of opening, Disney got rid of a few rides, including the infamous Superstar Limo. In October 2002 they added a Bug's Land based on the Pixar movie A Bug's Life, which included Flick's Fun Fair, a kids' play area, the existing It's Tough to Be a Bug show and more. Then in 2004 they added the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror inspired by the TV series. On 2006 they finally used the empty space left by Superstar Limo in favor of a Monsters Incorporated redesign including a decently themed queue and the story of the first film, which is way better than Superstar Limo in my opinion, and most guests' opinion as well. By then Disney had fixed the most prominent issues with the park. They added more rides and a better experience for kids. There was still one issue however, the theming was still confusing, and Disney knew this. By 2007 Disney started to make plans on how they could possibly redesign the park for a better guest experience. On October 17, 2007, the Walt Disney Company announced a multi-year, $1.1 billion redesign and expansion plan for Disney's California Adventure Park, against its initial $600 million price to build. Each district was reimagined to transform the park from a wacky modern California culture spin-off to a relaxing idealized version of the state. The project began in December 2007 and was completed in stages. Toy Story Midway Mania opened on In Paradise Pier in June 2008, in space formerly occupied by a store and restaurants. World of Color, a nighttime water and lights show on Paradise Bay, opened in June 2010. The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure opened on the site formerly occupied by the Golden Dreams Theater in June 2011. They also drastically changed the main entrance, which I was not entirely in favor of, but that's besides the point. However, with those changes in 2012 they opened what possibly saved the entire park.
Psst, hey, Lightning, when are the folks coming?
Really soon. Why are you whispering?
'Cause this whole place is super duper top secret. Hey, what's that button do?
Mater!
Holy spark plug! This place is cool!
A whole new land is opening June 15th at Disney California Adventure Park. Test drive Radiator Springs Racers, Luigi's Flying Tires, and more. Cars Land. Get ready to be floored.
Turn them off, Mater!
We're good. Nobody saw that. I think.
Cars Land opened on June 15, 2012. It contains 3 rides as well as shops and restaurants, all situated in a replica of Radiator Springs, the fictional town in which most of the first film's events take place. The area's main attraction is Radiator Springs Racers, a racing ride that uses the technology of Epcot's test track. The ride opened to great success and had one of the longest wait times ever. The redesign and expansion of the park saw attendance rates increase dramatically. In 2012, Disney California Adventure reached a record high for the park of over 7 million visitors, a 23% increase from the year before, a number Disney had hoped the park would attain in its first year. The day of the park's rededication saw the park draw a record number of 43,000 visitors in one day. The night before the rededication, over 500 people camped outside of the park in order to be the first admitted in. 2 days later, the park hit a new record of 45,000 visitors. Things were starting to slow down a bit until 2017 rolled in.
There is a place like no other, where a walk down Main Street can beat it.
Blah, blah, blah. Hey, the name's Rocket, and I need your help. The Collector has trapped my friends, the Guardians of the Galaxy, in his weird freak show. Check it out. This is the joint we're in, and we need you to help us break out. Got it? Good. Now move it. I gotta go.
Here, there is magic for days.
The Marvel expansion was starting to kick in at full speed. It started with Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which replaced the popular Twilight Zone Tower of Terror to mixed reviews. Also in 2017 Pixar Pier was announced to reimagine Paradise Pier. In March 20, 2020 a Marvel-themed land was announced to replace A Bug's Land and was set to be open by July 18, 2020. However, due to the COVID-19 outbreak, construction was delayed until further notice. So I guess that's it for California Adventure up until now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there is anything you want to add to this video, leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like these. See you next time.